there!
We can't let him get away!
Too late, fool! You will not escape! Us? What in the name of... Gary?
I'm sorry, okay? I hadn't prepped this part of the dungeon yet. I haven't had the time.
But you don't suffer from this, do you? For more than 2 years, you've helped us to enhance our tools, grow our map libraries, and given us a warm welcome in the community of map makers and game masters. We are honored to be part of this community, and all we can say is thank you.
Bring it on.
And welcome everyone. It's Tuesday again, which means it's another DGNFOG community update. My name is Till. I'm one of the founders of DGNFOG, and we're here to talk about recent developments in DGNFOG. If you have any questions, post them here in the chat. Make sure that you add a little question in front of it so I can see it. Wait, was I talking before the video arrived? Well, I'm sorry for that. Hi, Forecaster, and hello everyone else, of course. Right, so yeah, where was I? Right, it's our weekly community stream, which means if you have any questions, if you want to know something about DGNFOG, just ask here in the chat. Otherwise, I will be talking about what has recently happened here at DGNFOG, what is going to happen in the near future, and we will look at all the variety of things that I can show you. So for tonight, we're going to do a short review of last week's excitement, I would say. Especially for me, it was a lot of excitement. And we will talk a little bit about what's coming this week. And now let's just start with and we will also talk about the community challenge that we have recently announced. So hello everyone. Okay, so what happened last week? Let me just quickly go into my other screen share so we can see it. Many of you were there, some might have missed it, but over the past couple of weeks, so the past 2 weeks, we had the Map Battle Madness going on, which was an epic fight between Guy Sklenders from How to Be a Great GM and myself as a representation for DGNFOG, and we fought about who is the better map maker. I think it was an amazingly fun event, although very stressful. And if you've missed it, there is a website. I'm currently on this website. I will post the link right now, where you can watch the recap, where you can watch the award ceremony, where you can kind of rewatch everything that has happened there. You can also find the winners maps, so both contestants maps there, and you can clone those maps into your account. From a personal perspective, I don't think that I've ever done anything more stressful than this in my life. So even my exams, my school exams, were probably not that stressing. But it was a lot of fun. And I'm looking forward to do another one of those Map Battle Madnesses next year. So long story short, I'm really proud, and I'm honored that you have voted me as a winner, which all I can say is thank you very much. It was a close vote. I think we had, if I remember correctly, we had a little bit over 100 people voting, and it was only a matter of, I think, 8 or 9 votes to make the difference. So and if you want to know in what categories were close calls, what categories were quite obvious, there were several different categories where you could vote on, which was meeting the theme, picking meeting the random challenges. It was creativity, I'm missing so yeah, aesthetics and playability. So those were the 5 categories. Some of them were pretty close. That's where the close call was made, and some of them were quite obvious. And the funny thing about that was it was 2-2 for Guy and me, and the last category was basically then the deciding category. And interestingly enough, it was a close call until the end. We didn't know who's going to win, so we were both biting our teeth, biting our nails, not our teeth, to see who makes it. And again, thank you all for your votes. Thank you all for that. I promised you that we are going to look at my map, and we're going to review it in terms of, I'm going to review it to see what terrible mistakes did I do. Because when I was cutting the videos, like I was doing so what you can find here on the website is, if you scroll down here, you can find the maps that you can clone. And here you can watch the recap and the award ceremony. I'm also I haven't done this yet, I'm also going to upload the funny moments, so you can rewatch them too. I think I will do this after the stream tonight. I just finished cutting the award ceremony, so then I will upload the rest of it. Cutting the videos forced me to review my own work, and it was terrible. It was just looking at what I did on stream was like watching someone who has a complete blackout. So I would love to do a stream, which is going to be a Thursday stream, on the map that I did and the mistakes that I did there, and what I would do differently if I had the opportunity to do that. Forecaster says, and I think Bodhi is going to like that, next time the vote bars for the reveals need to be animated and fill at the same rate. So actually that was suggested by Bodhi, and Bodhi did an animated version. However, with OBS and stream setup and Myri not knowing what the bars are, this wasn't possible unless Myri would have edited the bars on stream and adding a video on stream while it's already starting the animation, so you would have seen her mess around with the OBS layout. So we tested that, and we didn't find a great solution for that. So we decided that we're doing it. Really, it was so just that you know what was happening is Guy and I were sitting in the stream with Myri. So neither of us were capable of looking at the statistics because you were still voting, nor taking those and kind of editing them into the very coolly designed bars that you have seen. So what was happening was Bodhi was kind of in the back end working on that. And he had a few minutes. He basically had between the community challenge announcement and the time that I think we showed some funny bits, and after that clip Myri had to be finished. Her OBS layouts had to be set up and ready for that. So all she could do was Bodhi quickly had to take the numbers and convert them into the graphics and then send them to Myri, so Myri could take them and put them in, because it was very important for me to keep this an unrigged event where we really compete, where you really vote. And although we, in the initial setup for the Map Battle Madness, we were discussing that this should be timed and kind of presented a little bit like one of those damn, I keep forgetting how the show is called, where American Gladiators. That's what I was talking about. It should have the feeling of a boxing event, or American Gladiators, or The Floor is Lava, or you could even say one of those cooking shows where it is dynamic and it is natural. But that meant that we really didn't want to prepare something. We didn't want that to be kind of a pre-shot, pre-prepared event. We wanted it to be a very natural, truly unpredictable event. And so this part of the technical setup just didn't work with that. So there were animated bars. And yes, we probably could have programmed something, but that would have been a lot more work. So Bodhi was preparing them as graphics. They could have been animated graphics, but they weren't for this one. It's not going to be the last battle of Map Battle Madness. So maybe for next time we can make that work. But aside from that, I think it was an amazing event. It was a lot of fun. Guy and I spent, I think, probably 2.5 hours after the award ceremony, and we're still chatting about it and joking around because it was a lot of fun. So before we talk about the date when we're going to review my map, I will not review Guy's map. I think that would be presumptuous to do, but I will review my map. And before we talk about that, during the event, we have also started our recent community challenge. And there is another page for that. It is basically the same thing, just with community at the end. I will post the link here. And this is a challenge to you guys. If you want to do the same that we did, and you want to try that challenge, you can find all the details here on the website, which means that it's actually, I think it's quite cool. It means you have to follow the same map theme and the same challenges that were, for us, they were randomly rolled. For you, you already have them. And you have to create a new map that you need to, let me make that a little bit bigger here so you can see it. You have to tag that map with hashtag mapbattle21. So this is kind of the thing that triggers that this map is part of that you're submitting this map to the contest. Hi everyone. Hi Rin. Hi Laura Bones. Hi, nice to see you here. We're just talking about the community Battle Madness. This is an ongoing challenge that has already started and that you can still participate. So what you need to do if you want to participate is you create a new map, you follow the same theme and challenges that Guy and I faced, and you have to finish and publish the map within 3 hours. So that is the core rule set. That is what you need to do. So you can find all of that in the link that I've just posted. The rules are: create a new map, make sure you add the keyword hashtag mapbattle21 in the keyword field. You need to use the same themes and challenges, and you need to finish and publish the map within 180 minutes, which means 3 hours. You have time until October the 18th to submit your map, which means you have time until then to make your map public with the hashtag mapbattle21. And then until October 31st, we will do a different announcement on that, but then the community voting part starts. So we will talk about the community voting part later. In very short, it basically means that once all the maps have been submitted, we will make them available through the public library so you can easily find them. And then you, as someone who browses those maps, can give up to 3 votes to nominate 3 maps as your favorites. And the map with the most votes becomes the gold winner, second most silver, bronze, and then we always reserve the right to have an honorary mention. We can and we will check for the winner maps whether or not they were created within the time limit. And we're doing that by looking at the map creation date and timestamp, and the date that timestamp when the map was published. So between those two, the creation of the map and the moment it goes into the public library, this is the time limit of 3 hours. And so that's from a database perspective quite easy to track for us. So that's what we're going to do. So keep an eye out for that, because that is actually something that might eliminate you from being one of the winners. Because even if the community has voted you on the top, if you're exceeding those 3 hours, all you can get is an honorary mention, and the silver winner would move up in the tier. Right, so if you need more details, if you want to know what the map should be, what the random challenges were, if you want to read more details about that, just go to the link that I've posted. I want to give a shout out to Forecaster here, because he did something quite unique and I think quite amazing for you if you want to take part in that community. And that is, he wrote a little browser script that you can install and run to get the timer. So there is a video on how to install that that shows you. It's just, let me make that full screen. Link is coming in a second. What you can see here is if you install that little browser script, it will add a timer that is counting towards the 3 hours. And after half time is going to change the little timer bar into an orange timer bar, and I think in the last 10 minutes into a red timer bar. So if you want to have a visual assistance while you work on the maps, make sure you check out, and I'm going to post the link to the YouTube video, which is the install guide, as well as a link collection in the description, and doobly-doo below the video you can find the link to the script and everything else. So if you want to know how you can run that script, just follow the guide in the video. It's super simple, especially if you know something like Temper Monkey or other browser script plugins, then it's really super easy to run. And I think it's going to be amazing, because it's going to add the same pressure that Guy and I had to your screen. Next time, Forecaster, we're going to add a little Myri voice into that script that is constantly blabbing at you while you're doing the challenge, because she did an amazing job, and I think she was keeping us, which means you as the audience and us as the map makers, entertained and kind of busy with questions, with commentary, with all that stuff. I think that was hard work, because you have to keep that going for 3 hours, and still it was fun, it was amazing, and she managed on a very, very sympathetic way to put additional pressure on Guy and us, which I think she did really great. So here, I know that she's not watching today, but thank you, Myri. It was brilliant. Okay, so summing up what we were talking about. First of all, if you go to dungeonfog.com/mapbattlemadness, this is this page here. You can find all the videos, and I'm going to add the final video later tonight. If you're going to mapbattlemadness/community, you can find the details on the community challenge, and you have until October 18th to finish that and to submit your map. And as I said in the award ceremony, I'm going to repeat that now. I know that there are map makers out there that are usually posting to our Discord, to the map showcase channels on Discord, and that are making maps public in our public library, who are more than up to this challenge, and I would love to see you participate here. Because what I forgot to say is, the gold winner of the challenge is kind of the next contestant, if he or she, if they want to participate in the next challenge, they're going to be, they're winning the right to challenge the current champion, the Fogmaster, in the next battle that will take place in 2022. Now, you don't have to do that. Again, you're just winning the right to do it. But if you would like to challenge me next year on a map stream, then this is your ticket to go there. And I know that there are people out there who are more than capable to whoop my ass in the next map battle, because from the maps I've seen you posting in our Discord, I have a few that I would be afraid of participating. So maybe just don't participate. I think it's going to be easier to beat Guy once more. I'm not sure about that, but yeah. All right. Talking about streams. So this Thursday, I was hoping to do my map review this Thursday. Unfortunately, we've got some internal meetings that I cannot postpone that are colliding with my map stream on Thursday. So I think there is going to be a map stream. I think probably Forecaster is running another map stream on Thursday on behalf of me. We will do announcements on that later. If not, I will do my review next week, Thursday. So it's not going to be this week because, again, unfortunately, there are some meeting collisions there. So there you go. Forecaster just said he will do a map stream unless work prevents him from it. So just keep an eye out for the announcement. And next week, I will then do my map review. Right. Let me quickly check chat if there are any questions. Has anything come up here that you would like to get answered from me? I don't see anything in that regard. So if you have any questions, post them now, because I'm going to, there's not much to talk about this week apart from what happened last week and the stream announcement for this week. I would just do a quick summary of what has happened at DGNFOG at the moment and what is going on at the moment so that you know. But we're going to close the stream probably in a few minutes if I don't see any questions from you. Has the US server issues been resolved is a question. So we have applied another update to our server infrastructure that should have taken some stress from it. But that is actually something that I wanted to talk about, which is, if you remember, we were showing you that we've been working on the paths tool. And the paths tool itself has reached a proof of concept state where we are happy with the way that it works. And we're going to review that probably next week or the week after in one of our Tuesday streams. But from our perspective, the development is now at a good point to pause it and to switch to another big project that has been going on for over 3 months now. And that is our new asset service. That is actually then finally addressing a lot of the US server issues that we had. And we want to make sure that the asset service is up and ready for, again, I would say end of the month, early November. So what we've done so far is we've finished first pass internal testing on it. Now we're going into a deeper dive and are testing this more thoroughly. But also, we need Andy to pause the paths tool and switch over to make the editor ready to read all the asset data from our new asset service. And that is something that just happened this week. It was, or last week, it was trying to wrap up and finish everything that we've done on the paths prototype to be sure that what we have is working and that we can kind of shelve it for a week or two. Excuse me. And then have the next 2 or 3 weeks working on the asset service. And once the asset, so the problem with that is that we can't give, like, there is a good estimate, bad estimate situation. So best case for the asset service is that it kind of passes all our internal tests within the next week, and Andy can implement or like reconnect and hook it up with the editor within the next week after. So Andy, we have a week of testing and Andy has 2 weeks of development. So that would be the best case scenario, which would bring us to having it finished around the next 14 days. The worst case is that our testing shows some problems or that reconnecting takes a little more than we expected. And that's why it's uncertain if it's going to hit the service by the end of October or by early November, because there's still a bit of an error margin in there. And we want to make it well tested and battle-proof before we release it, because I think if suddenly the asset service is failing in communication, that would make things even worse than better. So having it tested as good as possible is important. However, that also means that the paths tool now is a little bit on a break. And the second that Andy has done his implementation, he will then turn back on to the paths tool and make sure that he finishes that. And for the paths tool, with the prototype being in a kind of approved state now, will probably be another 2 weeks to 3 weeks to then bring it to the test service and then to release it to you. So that's what's happening here at the moment. It's kind of, spinning all those tables, and Andy is the one who's kind of now running between all the sticks and is trying to spin them. While Jonas, who's our main developer behind we're calling it the FOGMS, so the asset service, he's almost finished. He's basically just waiting on our feedback and the testing results and the implementation from Andy. Right. So that's what's going on at the moment. So I saw that Forecaster said, I don't think you've addressed you could disqualify maps already at the start of voting. That is true. We discussed that. But because of the way that we are looking at this contest, that doesn't really make sense. I think it's fine the way we're doing it, because if you stay, and I mean, it's up to you. You know already if you stay within the limit. But if you're exceeding the limit, that should not exclude people from voting on your map, because your map might be amazing. You might have a beautiful, great map, and it should deserve user votes, because the feedback you get then is, oh my god, I'm a great map maker, I just wasn't fast enough for the challenge, instead of, I didn't meet the time limit, so I will not care about my map anymore. All those maps that get a lot of votes but exceed the time limit will still get an honorary mention. So I think, again, I was saying this in the awards ceremony stream, and I'm going to repeat myself. It's a fun contest. It's a fun event. It should bring joy and fun to all of you participating, and it shouldn't really bring the stress and anxiety of what Guy and I had to live through to you. That is going to happen to you once you come on stream and battle the Fogmaster. So that was our thought process behind that. Lord God says internet points are the best self-worth metric. We will just say yes to that for now. That would be, Illyrian says, you should maybe mark the maps when they weren't finished in time. Again, the same thing. I'm pretty sure no one is going to vote on them then. And from a judge perspective, it doesn't really matter. If we're getting 10 maps that are the highest rankings and we have to eliminate the first 3, it just pushes the rest up. And I think that's the outcome. So you can see that you have a beautiful map. You can see that it has been voted upon a lot. So the community approves what you're doing. You just didn't meet the time limit. So that's that's kind of the thought process behind it. And again, it's the first time we do this challenge. If it sucks the way we're doing it, then we're going to change it next time. Hi everyone. Hi all those late changes. I'm sorry you're jumping in for the last few minutes. I'm now just answering a few chat questions that are there. And there was one thing I wanted to remind you of. This week is going to drop the new Deus build. We're aiming for Thursday. It might be Friday if some of the testings show that we need some last minute bug fixing or updating. But if you're following us on the Deus track, then keep an eye out for announcements, because the auto updater will ping somewhere between Thursday and Friday this week with some very cool new things. If you don't know what is coming, a quick reminder, it's going to be the text tool. There's some bug fixes. It's a new color picker. It's general UI improvements, loading screens. I think, I'm not sure, but there are some other things that might find its way into that current build. And of course, by the end of the month, we're going to do a review of the recent build and the next upcoming thing. But for now, Thursday, Friday, end of this week, this is when the new Deus patch is going to hit. I am seeing another question here from Hannes Langer. Is there a problem with the brush tool? I have some issues due the last week. Are you talking about DGNFOG, the battle map editor, or are you talking about Deus? I know for the Deus brush tool that it is still a first pass implementation, so having a few problems, like for example, we know that on a high zoom level or a very small brush, it pixelates quite a lot. So those are things that are being fixed as we speak. If you're talking about DGNFOG, the battle map editor, I'm actually not aware of any problems apart from the latency issues that we had with US connections. So if you have problems loading assets or if it take very long, then this is probably due to the US latency issues that we had in the past couple of days or weeks. If you have other issues, then actually, for me, I'm not aware of any bugs or problems. Then I would highly recommend to either go to the Discord chat and ask community if they have the same problems as you, or just write us a support ticket at support@dungeonfog.com, and we will have a look at what your problem is. Okay, I think that's it. If there's nothing else from your side, then all I can say for tonight is thank you very much for attending. Thank you for being there. Keep an eye out, participate, make sure that you at least look at the community challenge, or then later help us voting. So if you're not submitting your maps, you can still vote on all the submissions starting on October the 18th, 19th. That's when the voting part will open. And until then, thank you very much. Have a good day, have a good afternoon, or a good evening. And until the next time, happy map making. Bye.